What's going on, guys? T-Mart here. Welcome back to another episode of Black Ops 3 Jumps and Wall Run Spots, baby. Alright, here we go. So, as you guys can see today, we are going to be on the map Stronghold. I've actually got quite a few good spots for you guys that I'm looking forward to sharing. Now, starting off here in this kind of like driveway, courtyard area, if your team is spawning on this side of the map, oftentimes you are going to have enemies coming at you from the cave. It's a very popular route for them to take. If you're in like a TDM or something like that without an objective, people are going to be trying to flank your spawn in that. If you're playing domination, your dom flag's over here, your safeguard point to defend is over here, search and destroy bomb sites are right over there, and then down in the garage, stuff like that. So people are constantly going to be trying to flank your spawn through this cave no matter what you're playing. And there are a couple of different ways to deal with those guys. So number one is underneath these big trucks. It's actually a very good spot. You guys can see you're gonna have plain view of pretty much like the bottom half of their body, and they really aren't going to be able to see you very well. At least they won't really expect it. Like, they're going to come around this corner and they're not going to see you laying down under there. They're going to see a black dot, but it's not going to really, kind of like register with them right away. So typically you'll be able to win that gunfight without a problem. Also, another good spot that I actually had used on me in a game battles match is right over here. So if you jump up on this ledge, you guys can see you kind of get behind this tree, and it's really hard to see you in this spot. So we'll do it from the enemy team's perspective. You guys can see they're going to come across this way, and they're going to be looking here. They're going to be looking there. They're going to be looking there. They aren't going to be looking up there. So that's another good spot. If you know somebody's going to be coming through that cave, then it's going to be a fantastic spot to set up. Now, moving on, this right here, this kind of like center decorational piece is actually very useful. If you want to hop on this piece right here, you guys can see, all the way down into like the garage. You can see into the kitchen. You can see into the main like rock area of the house. If you hop over on this piece over here, you guys can see, again, you can look into the house. So like in Safeguard, when they're trying to get the robot, like it's in the doorway, they're trying to get it right here and everybody's flooding through there. This is a fantastic spot to be in, to be able to take people out. As well as you can see over towards the cave, and you can kind of see towards the middle of the map. So overall, this thing is just, it's really good. Nobody really takes advantage of it. And I highly recommend that you guys kind of use this thing as a jungle gym to be able to get the jump on enemies. Now, moving on, let's go ahead and head this way. And I'm going to teach you guys about this wall. So obviously this wall is a very common wall. I'm sure you guys have wall run on this thing a lot. I'm sure you've seen a lot of enemies wall running on this thing. And what I just did is what a lot of people do. And if you guys didn't see it, I'll show you guys that again. What people do is they'll come up to this thing, they'll jump, and they'll wall run up here. And the problem with that is right here. So, obviously a lot of enemies will sit over on top of that building. They'll sit in this kind of like rocky field and stuff like that. And when you're jumping and wall running, you leave yourself super exposed. And like, they might not be able to shoot you right away, but at least they're going to know that you're going to be down here. Like, it's very obvious that you came along that wall run spot. So what I like to do, and what I encourage you guys to do, is rather than jumping when you hit this wall, what you want to do is fall when you hit the wall. So watch this. If you fall and then catch the wall down here, you guys can see if they're in that spot right there, yes, they'll still be able to see you. It's going to be super quick though, so it's going to be tough. But everywhere else, they're not going to see you get behind this rock. So then you can kind of use that to your advantage, maybe flank around, stuff like that. Another kind of similar tip I've got for you guys is when I see people going this way, a lot of people will do like a boost jump like that to be able to get up there. And that's fine. Like, typically you're going to be all right. But if you're playing S&D or something where like you don't want to show up in the minimap, you don't want to give away your position, you don't have to boost jump to be able to make it. It doesn't look like it, but you don't have to. So like, look at this. We're just going to jump normally. We're going to jump normally at the end, and boom. Although it doesn't look like I'm going to make it, I still will make it. So you don't have to actually, boost jump and ping on the enemy team's minimap and give away your position. So that's just a little tip for you guys. Yeah, whichever way you're going to the wall, just be a little bit less predictable, and you guys will have a better job of hitting that thing right there. Now, anyway, moving on, if we come around this way, this is a pretty common kind of like flank wall run spot. I'm sure you guys know about this one. You may not know about this one. This one is especially good. You guys can see you come all the way around the enemy team spawn. You can hop up here and take them out. A lot of people like to just sit and camp and kind of watch like this, so they don't expect you to come from over here. Another option to kind of continue this route, so let's say you came from the kitchen, you went all the way around both these rocks, and now you're here. Rather than coming up this way and showing yourself, or coming through here and showing yourself, you can actually continue it around the back side of this building. So watch this. This is really good in like CTF and stuff like that. You guys can see you can get a complete flank all the way around into the enemy team spawn, and they never see you, which is obviously very good, again, for CTF, for domination, for all kinds of stuff like that. So that's pretty useful. And then obviously you can do it the opposite way as well. So if enemy team is you know, kind of like taking over this building and pushing into your spawn, you can come like this, and you can either hop up that way, or you can wall run across, and you can come around behind them and take them out, which is pretty good. So anyway, moving on. Let's go ahead and head back over this way. I want to tell you guys about fighting back this way. So I told you guys how it's smart not to do the big jump on that and just kind of like come across this way for the people that are sitting here camping looking for you. Well, a lot of people, like a lot of times you'll find yourself spawning on this side of the map, and you'll be running this way, and there'll be people up in that window. They'll be on this rock. They'll be over here on this little kind of like head glitch wall spot type thing. And really, there aren't too many great ways to fight these guys. Obviously, this is the generic answer. People will drop down here and try to do this. They'll try to use this. They'll try to use this rock. And all of these are decent, but I'm going to show you guys the best spot that I've found, and that's right over here. If you get up on this rock right here, look at this. You can see that head glitch spot. You can see up into the bedroom. You can see over to that rock and that wall over there. But you can like easily back down and be completely covered. Everything else is kind of like a half wall, but if you use this one, literally only the very tippity top of your head is going to show. So this is the best spot to combat people who are, you know, kind of like sitting and trying to mow you down as you push this way. Just a little tip for you guys. Now, anyway, moving on, let's go ahead and go around to this this back side over here. There's really not too much over here. One thing I do want to mention that I've used a couple of times is you can see through this fence here. So if you're pushing this way and you think an enemy might be there, you can jump up and kind of look through the corner of the fence to see if there's somebody coming. So that can be kind of useful sometimes. Another thing I want to tell you guys about is this area right here. So obviously, again, like I said earlier in the start of the video, the cave is a very popular spot, and like hard points are in here, stuff like that. Oftentimes, people will be chilling like this, like waiting for you to come around the corner. They'll be sitting like this, stuff like that. They'll even push out and kind of sit on these walls like this. When I'm pushing this cave, what I'll typically do is rather than going around a side like this, which kind of leaves you a little bit more exposed and is kind of predictable, what I'll do is I'll always just jump like this. I'll always jump over the wall. So imagine yourself in the enemy team's shoes. If you're sitting like this, like waiting for somebody to come around this corner, and then they come from right here, you're not going to be expecting that. So typically you're going to have the jump on the enemy team if you just jump across like this, and it's going to give you a slight advantage. Now, moving through the cave here, let's get back over towards the middle side of the map. I got a couple of good spots for you guys. So first up is this right here. I'm sure you guys have seen this thing, but did you guys know that you can hop up like this and you can jump and see through it? So rather than barreling around this corner right into a bunch of the enemies, like say they're on the hard point, or if somebody's camping up in that head spot over there, you can hop up here and you can kind of see what's going on. You can even see over into the, you know, kind of like control room area over here. So you can kind of check and make sure that you're safe to go. It's especially useful in like search and destroy and stuff like that. Same thing over here on the other side. Rather than just barreling around that corner, you can jump up and see if enemy guys are coming through their spawn. And then it's especially useful if you're kind of running like this. So like the S&D bomb sites right here. So like say you're up in this house, you want to get to that bomb site. What I'll do is I'll go like this, and you can kind of, I didn't really do it there. You can kind of wall run on this wall, and you guys can see that you can kind of see if enemies are coming around that corner. So like rather than just coming around the corner blind, you can kind of see if they're coming and you'll be ready for them. So that can be kind of useful. Now, moving on, what are the last things I want to show you guys? I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this, but make sure you guys use these blinds here if you're in this area to make sure enemies aren't flanking you. You can see them running along the wall. Another area you can do this is up in the master bedroom. You guys can see if enemies are running along the wall, so just make sure you guys use that. And then finally, last but not least, probably my favorite thing that I do on this map, and the real gem of this video that I wanted to show you guys, is what's the most popular kind of like camping head glitch spot on this map? Right here. Everybody comes to this spot. I promise you, you'll find somebody in this spot 80% of the matches that you play. Like, people just sit here and they just like watch the center of the map. No matter what's going on, they'll sit here and they'll camp. And sometimes they can be pretty tough to take out of those head glitches. Obviously, you can kind of like try to use these things to counter their spot, but it's really like there's no super good spot to combat that, right? Wrong. What you have to do is you have to get over into this corner of the map. So you'll push up into here. You guys, obviously you can see that they can't shoot you now. And what you're going to do is you're going to step up on this flower pot. You're going to crouch down, and would you look at that? You have a full little line of sight right over to that little head glitch spot. And let's take a look at what it's going to look like from their perspective. You guys can see they aren't gonna see you there. Look at that. They can't even see. It's like a dark shadow. So it's a really good spot. I use it all the time, and I encourage you guys to check it out. So again, you just kind of hop up on this flower pot here, you crouch down, and you can see right over to that very popular camping spot. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next episode of Jumps and Wall Run Spots. Let me know which map you guys want me to do next, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.